10 years ago, a self-made businesswoman kindly invested $500 in a street vendor girl. What she didn't know was that this small act of kindness would one day bring her life-saving help during a major crisis. That day, a crowd of employees demanding wages gathered outside her company. $8 million had mysteriously vanished from the company account. Just when she was at a total loss, the 3 children she had raised appeared, walking into the office looking calm and confident. She asked her eldest son if he knew where the money went, but he suddenly dropped his usual respectful tone and blamed her for mismanaging the company, then shamelessly sat on her desk without a care. The youngest son also spoke up, saying he'd consider covering the loss if she handed the company over. Hearing this, she immediately understood. It was these 3 adopted sons who had transferred the funds. She thought back to their mother, her own younger sister, who had once threatened suicide, begging her to raise her 3 children, saying they couldn't even afford a steamed bun. Out of compassion, she agreed, never expecting to be repaid like this. Faced with their shameless demands, she refused without hesitation. This company was her and her father's lifelong work. There was no way she'd hand it to such irresponsible people. But the 3 weren't worried at all, mocking her, saying the workers downstairs would soon force her hand, and she'd end up begging them instead. After they left, she finally exhaled, but then she received news. Her father had a heart attack and was in the ICU. Surgery would cost $500,000, and she didn't have a single cent. Pushed to the brink, she still refused to give up. Just then, angry workers stormed into the office. The manager even threw a tissue box at her. She dodged in time. Facing their rage, she sincerely begged them to give her 1 more month, promising she'd sell everything if she had to pay their wages. The workers remembered her past kindness. Many had been helped by her, so the lead woman in the crowd spoke up, saying they'd wait, but if wages weren't paid in a month, they wouldn't go easy. The workers agreed, and soon left. The woman quickly told her assistant to arrange selling off assets, then went to her sister, asking to borrow $500,000. To her shock, her sister said she'd only help if the woman knelt. The woman was stunned. This very company had once been on the brink, and she was the one who had invested, found suppliers, and built it up. Yet now her sister showed no gratitude, instead taking advantage of her crisis. Seeing her shocked face, the sister admitted she'd always been jealous. She had never beaten her at anything growing up. Now she finally had her moment. Hearing this, the woman realized her only way out was to get her sister's help. So she knelt, thinking humility might win her some support. But then the sister smiled and said she had another gift. At that moment, the 3 adopted sons walked in. The woman finally realized it was her sister who had instructed them to steal the funds, but it was already too late. The 4 of them dragged her to the factory, where the workers saw her, and threatened to burn the factory down if they didn't get paid. Seeing her life's work about to go up in flames, she struggled, but her youngest son again offered a deal: hand over the company, and he'd call it off. What they didn't know was that her backup was on the way. The girl she once helped with $500 was now a billionaire CEO, and had been searching for her benefactor all these years. Upon learning of the woman's troubles, she dropped everything to come help. At that moment, as the sister forced the woman to press her thumbprint on the contract, the factory doors burst open, and the female CEO stormed in with her team.